Before the world knew paper, before ink-stained history, the Yoruba people were already writing, not with pens, but with drums, with fire, with breath. This is the story they never told you, of an alphabet born from the spirit, forged in silence, and carried across centuries by memory, magic, and resistance. This is the untold story of Iwo Yoruba, more than letters. It is our voice. It is our power. It is our legacy. In the time before time, when the world was still young and the wind carried the names of things not yet born, the Yoruba people walked the earth with wisdom etched in their hearts and stories folded into their tongues. They were a people of sound, of drums, chants, and oriki. Their voices shaped the world. But there were no letters, no ink, no parchment, no scrolls to bind their knowledge, only breath. It is said that in the heavens above the mountains of Ile-Ife, Olajumer summoned Isala, the spirit of communication, and whispered, "Let the children of the earth write their names in the book of time." Isala descended with 3 calabashes, Ikuan, tears, Itin, story, and Ami, symbol. The people chose Itin, and thus began the age of storytelling. But the calabash of Ami, the one containing the symbols of the future, remained sealed, waiting for the day the people would be ready to write the story they once only spoke. Long before the white man stepped ashore with paper and pen, the Yoruba were already dancing with the idea of writing. Hidden in carved calabashes, in painted walls of sacred shrines, and in the tattoos worn by warriors, were symbols, early signs of a visual language lost to time. These were not random decorations. They were pictograms, ideograms, signs of power and prophecy. In Ifa divination, the sacred Odu were spoken and memorized, but their essence was always tied to patterns. Arrangements of palm nuts, markings in sand, lines carved on wood. This was Yoruba's unspoken writing system, ephemeral yet eternal. Historians now see whispers of this early literacy across West Africa. The Nsibiti symbols of the Efik and Ibibio people, mysterious, elegant, and sacred, echo the silent art of Yoruba signs. Was there a connection? Perhaps. Africa has always been a woven mat, and its symbols, like threads, often cross paths beneath the surface. This was the first alphabet, not made of letters but of life itself. Symbols of the sun, the moon, the diviner's chain, the hunter's footstep. A script spoken through action, rhythm, and memory. But the letters had yet to take form. It was the 1800s and the land of the Yoruba was in turmoil. War, slave raids, and foreign missionaries brought both chaos and change. Amid this turbulence rose a young boy named Ajayi, born in Oagbo, taken captive as a child, and shipped off to Sierra Leone as a slave. He was rescued, baptized, and given a new name, Samuel Ajayi Crowther. But though the world renamed him, it could not erase his roots. Ajayi grew in faith and knowledge. He learned English, Latin, Greek, but his soul burned for the words of his people. He returned to Nigeria as a priest and scholar, determined to give Yoruba its rightful place among the written languages of the world. He listened, really listened, to the rhythm of Yoruba, the rising and falling tones, the syllables that danced like bata drums, the meanings that shifted like river currents. And then he built an alphabet. Using the Roman script as foundation, he bent it to the will of Yoruba sounds. He added diacritics to mark tones, grave, acute, and macron. He made symbols for nasal vowels and distinct consonants. He translated the Bible, the Book of Common Prayer, and school primers into Iwo Yoruba, the written language of the Yoruba people. For the first time, the Yoruba tongue was not only spoken, it was seen. With the birth of this alphabet came transformation. No longer was knowledge held only in memory. Sacred proverbs, ancestral names, herbal remedies, divination verses, All could now be recorded, shared, and protected. The voice of the elders now lived on paper. The Yoruba became one of the most literate ethnic groups in West Africa. Newspapers were printed in Yoruba. Letters crossed vast distances. Schools taught reading and writing not just in English, but in the people's own tongue. Writers like Dio Fagunwa brought the language to life in fiction, blending folklore, fantasy, and philosophy. His novel, Ogboju Odninu Igbo Iron Mail, The Forest of 1,000 Demons, became the first full-length novel written in Yoruba, opening the floodgates for others to follow. The alphabet wasn't just about books. It crept into music, where talking drums echoed its tonal nature, into art, where script was woven into fabric and carved into masks, into politics, where Yoruba became a language of resistance, identity, and pride during colonial rule. In a world trying to erase African voices, Iwaro Yoruba stood firm like an ancient Irako tree, rooted, reaching, alive. Today, in the age of screens and satellites, Iwaro Yoruba is still very much alive. From the bustling streets of Lagos to the halls of Harvard, Yoruba is spoken, read, and written. Apps teach the alphabet to children in both Nigeria and the diaspora. Social media users type in Yoruba with pride. Online journals and blogs now carry news and poetry in the tongue of ancestors. Educators and cultural custodians fight to keep it in schools, despite challenges. Linguists refine the orthography, while artists turn the alphabet into patterns for clothing, murals, and digital design. Across Brazil, Trinidad, Cuba, and the U.S., descendants of enslaved Yoruba people reclaim their heritage through Iwaro Yoruba, learning to say their prayers, sing their oriki, and name their children in the mother tongue of gods. In the digital age, Yoruba is now encoded into Unicode, making it accessible in global tech. From predictive keyboards to AI models trained in Yoruba phonetics, the script is crossing boundaries once unimaginable. The alphabet that once hid in shadows now walks in light. Yet, like all sacred things, the alphabet must be protected. For every child who learns to read Yoruba, a link is forged with the past. For every proverb preserved, a piece of identity is reclaimed. But without care, even iron rusts. Without passion, even mountains crumble. This is a call, not just to scholars and elders, but to everyone. Learn the letters. Write your name. Speak your truth. Pass it on. Create Yoruba stories. Design Yoruba apps. Share Yoruba jokes. Type Yoruba tweets. Let the alphabet grow not just in ink, but in intention. Let it live in the heart of the people. For to lose a language is to lose a world. And Yoruba is a world worth saving. At last, the sealed calabash of Ami, the one filled with symbols, has been opened. Its contents now dance across paper, screens, hearts, and minds. The story that was once untold is now unfolding, letter by letter, line by line. This is the untold story of the Yoruba alphabet. Now you know it. Now it is yours. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share.